Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. We're going to get straight into a video by Was Jay Slater set up by Tom Hilton, part 8. And I think the sort of conversation of Tom Hilton has come back into a light. And someone said he may have been in the car with Abe and Rocky, as well as Jay and Brad. Interesting stuff, like I said, this story will keep arising. And obviously Tom's uncle, who said those bad things about Jay, that is bad news, and he doesn't care about him at the end of the day, and he was trouble. It does tell us a lot, really, at the end of the day, that there's more to this case and more to basically Tom Hilton and his family wanting to get back at Jay Slater. Let's get straight into this by Top Level.
Was Jay Slater set up by Tom Hilton? Now, this question didn't come from nowhere. Tom Hilton was set up in August 2021 and ran for his life before being set upon like a pack of wolves, which is Tom Hilton's words himself. Now, he suffered life-threatening injuries after the machete exposed his skull. He also had injuries to his shoulders and legs. There were many weapons used in this attack, and there were many people involved, even though it was only 8 of them that were actually convicted, Jay and his 7 other friends. Now, many people believe that Jay Slater was attacked while he was on holiday, or he was taken hostage, or he was set up in some sort of way. The question is, if that did happen, who's involved in it? And is Tom Hilton behind it? Did Thomas Hilton want to get revenge? And is that why Jay Slater is no longer with us? You see, when we look at the situation in Jay Slater's final moments, there's a few things that just don't seem to add up. Now, me saying a few things is an understatement. There's so many things that don't seem to add up. But in this video,
I always thought Tom and his brother were there, and the shock on Jay's face, seeing that actually said it all. And look at the other people just looking in on him as though they knew what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But the shock in his face, I'll never forget that. He seemed surprised.
We're going to discuss just a few of them. You see, when we look at Jay Slater's final 3 pictures, in chronological order, the 3 final Snapchats that he posted I'm talking about, there's a few things that just don't seem to make sense.
Definitely.
You see, Jay Slater apparently went to the Airbnb to stay with Ayub Kassim and Rocky, even though he didn't really know them. Now, apparently he didn't go back to his own hotel because he lost his key. Now, I've made a whole video about Jay Slater's key.
If you had 2 cars or more on finance between 2015 and 2021,
The video is called What Happened to Jay Slater's Key, and you will find that in the playlist under the Warren Slater's Journal. So back to what I was saying, apparently Jay was going to the Airbnb with Ayub Kassim and Rocky. On their way to the Airbnb, he apparently posted a Snapchat picture while he was in the back of the car. But the problem is, this picture seems to look more like Tom Hilton, and this is what I mentioned to you.
Well, Mama D covered this, and a lot of people said it was a resemblance. And then when people would go back and say, look, it could be Jay battered, but it is very, very strange if you look at the hairline and everything. I do think sometimes we've come off track, even myself a bit, and we should basically stay back online what we knew before. I think it's very, very important. I think the early stuff in this case was very real to what happened to Jay Slater.
To you guys, in part 6 of this series. Now, why do they look so similar? And why does it look like Tom Hilton? Is it possible that Tom Hilton is mocking everybody? Is he playing us right under our noses? Is this Tom Hilton? You see, when you look at the hairline, it's exactly the same. When you look at the type of hair that it is, it's exactly the same. Wavy, curly. Even when you look at the noses, they look the same. If you look at his tash hairline, his moustache hairline, even that seems to be the same. Now, is this Tom Hilton himself? You see, when you think about it, the only thing that we can't see.
Someone else said in the messages recently, this is why I made this video actually today, said that they turned round and they said that I think Tom is a friend of Abe and Rocky, which is very, very interesting. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I do think they know each other.
Is this person's eyes? If we could see this person's eyes, we would be able to confirm who it is. So is that the reason why this person is dressed up in sunglasses, to hide the real identity of who it is? Why is Jay Slater wearing sunglasses in the dark? Is it because this is not really Jay Slater? You see, even in Debbie Duncan's interview with the Sun newspaper, she seemed a bit off about this picture. It's almost like she didn't believe that this was Jay. Now, if his own mother has doubts about it, what does that tell you? And even when I mentioned this in a previous video in this series, so many of you commented telling me that you think it's the same person. Has the suspect been right in front of us all this time? Now, after driving to the Airbnb, apparently Jay took his next Snapchat, and in this Snapchat he takes a picture pointing towards his toes with a cigarette in his hand. So far we have a single Snapchat picture of him on his way to the Airbnb that doesn't look like him and looks like Tom Hilton. And then once he gets there, the next picture just shows a picture of a blanket and his feet. You can't even see his feet properly. Now, isn't...
And the funny thing is, these are amazing points by Top Level, because it was also Mama D who said, though, you know, that thumb, the hand is Tom Hilton's. So basically, so is he the person that's being protected by Brandon, Brad, Lucy, that he was also at the Airbnb as well? Because obviously, if it was found he was there, and the arguments that were happening in the early hours of the morning, that could tell us a lot.
And that's strange. Why didn't Jay Slater just take a selfie of himself? Or what?
I've always said that, you know, the beautiful mountain area, and why wouldn't you take a picture of themselves? I thought it was kind of odd and very, very suspicious.
Why didn't he take a picture of the view? Why would he take a picture like this, just pointing downwards, where you can't actually see anything? Or shall I say you can't actually see anything in regards to him, apart from a hand. Now, is that Jay Slater's hand? Well, let's compare his hand with a pretty recent picture of Tom Hilton's hand. Now, apart from the fact that this picture seems to be mocking the previous picture, the hand looks similar. Now, why has Tom Hilton taken a picture of himself with just a blanket on and the camera pointing in exactly the same angle as the second to last picture that Jay apparently took at the Airbnb? Even the hand gesture seems to be the same or similar. Now, is Tom Hilton mocking us again? Was he right under our nose even in this second picture? Now, back to this picture with the red blanket. This blanket doesn't even match the decor inside this Airbnb. This looks like the blanket that was actually in Jay Slater's apartment.
That's what I mean. I do think that when Jay left the club, they had to go back to the apartment, maybe to pick someone else up, and then the scenario ended up on the beach from there. Was it to get Lucy? They went back to get Lucy into what to do, and then she ended up on the beach with them, into saying, "Oh, I didn't know this was going to happen to Jay. It was odd." And why she didn't want to go back to the Airbnb the next day, even though a lot of people think she was actually there. There's a lot of scenarios which Top Level actually made some brilliant points on, and sometimes we can lose track of this case, but I think this is very, very important, this video.
Now, how could the blanket from Jay Slater's apartment be at the Airbnb? I can't help but be inclined to think that Jay was never at the Airbnb. Now, let's look at his final Snapchat. Surely this one is going to show us something to prove that he was actually where they state he was. But what a coincidence again. we can't seem to see anything in relation to Jay Slater. Now this one is unbelievable when you think about the situation in regards to this picture, because Lucy Law apparently identified where the Airbnb was from this picture, and she was able to come looking for Jay.
And we always know that she's actually been there before as well, to the Airbnb, and it was a meeting point. I think she knows Roman, I think she knows Ayub, and I think she knows the Tom Hilton side of things as well. I think basically her allegiance is with Tom Hilton and his crew. I really do think that.
Isn't that strange? You see, it is strange until the truth came out. And the truth is that Lucy Law rang Ayub Kassim up because she already had his number. But she hasn't told us any of this. You see, she's been hiding all this information that she knows Ayub and Rocky. And how do we have all this information? Well, Ayub Kassim slipped up again in his live stream and told us this. Her behavior just seems very strange. Why did she call the police straight away? I mean, Jay could have just been lost somewhere. You know, how does she know that something wasn't right? What is she hiding from us? And is she...
Well, it's massive conversation with Lucy at the moment in what she was doing out in Tenerife and what her job was and how she recruited people and how she was definitely in the rugs game, working for a lot of high profile people, I think. And if you look who she's connected with, some dodgy business, that Tropical Juice had talked about, this girl's name Lucy, name's mentioned. It is odd. It is very, very, very odd. And how her mum basically got her out there pretty quickly, and she was the one say, I effed up. I do think that she was threatened, and that was one of the reasons why she went really, really quiet. And I think her allegiances with Ayub and the others, I think they've gone their own little way, hoping that everything about Jay Slater Kate will blow over, but it won't.
Is she working with Tom Hilton? I mean, by now, if you've been watching the series, you would know that she's no stranger to Tom Hilton. In fact, she just went on holiday recently with him, just a few months before she went on holiday with Jay Slater. Can we trust Lucy Law after she's contradicted herself so many times, and her behavior has been very strange from the beginning? Is she involved in some sort of way? Has Tom been smart enough to pull this off? And if he has, who has he been working with? If he set up Jay Slater, then surely he had help from other people. So who were they?
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Final countdown.
That was top level, people. Thank you very much for that. I thought you made some absolutely great points, and he's got a sensible way of putting things together, and I thought that was a brilliant video. But like I said, I think we'll get the truth. I really, really do think we'll get the truth. And like I said, it is strange. Like I said, what a picture was, if you look at the hairline, which looks like Tom Hilton, and then the picture of basically outside the Airbnb of someone smoking a cigarette, and it's been really diagnosed that that hand is not Jay's. But like I said, it is very suspicious, and we need to sort of crack the case. I do think basically Tom H was highly involved in this, and I think it was an operation, some kind, to get you over there, get him working like he can earn a lot of money. And basically, I do think that he was a rugs mule, and I do think that he was supposed to take a beating, but I think it went worse than that, to be honest with you, where they had to get rid of him. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel and let me know what you think, and great respect to Top Level on his video.